business owners and entrepreneurs, helping them figure out that conscious leadership style so that you can actually lead your business in a way that feels authentic and get to a solid foundation, having more leads, having more transactions, having conversions, and having more profits. Um, Really understanding how your mind plays such a large factor within how you show up every single day, the decisions that you make, the clients and contracts that you say yes to. So when you can start to work from the inside out, I have seen and can tell you from my own experience as well, you attract better staff, you attract better people on your team, you attract better contracts, and you are doing something that you actually have control over. I think as business owners, we get into entrepreneurship because we are not necessarily excited about living out somebody else's dreams. We want to live out our own. And so we try to control a lot of things. But the only thing we ever have control over is how you show up and how you respond to the world around you, to the people around you. When you can address the internal, the mindset, you take care of 99.9% of your problems. You stop trying to control spinning the plates that you have no control over, and you control the one thing you always have power and control over, which is honestly where it all lives. It's where all the juice is.
No, no. I'm with you 1,000%. When I first got started in business, I always tell people, I was hustling, and I think that anybody could hustle. Like anybody can make money, but once you really start, realizing that hustling is still exchanging your time for money, and you really want to, get into real business ownership, you got to unlock this level, and that level is your brain. Like it's your
Yep.
mind. It's believing in yourself and understanding that that thing that's going to scare the hell out of you, like you got to just do it. And the only way that you can just do it is this mind. It's got to be able to get you through that hump of scarcity, like what's
Yeah.
coming next. And again, you do a great job on these calls of encouraging individuals and motivating individuals to keep moving forward. But what type of clients, when you think about this industry, uh, everybody needs it, that I know,
Right.
but you can't help everybody. So what type of clients is it that you cater to in particular?
I really focus in on high performing minority business owners who are looking to enhance their confidence and their ability to lead and develop trusted teams so that they can regain control of their schedule and their time, which means they can scale, they can grow, they can take on bigger contracts, they can, there's a lot of times people get so excited with what they want to do, and then all of a sudden they sell it, they make it happen, but then they don't have the capacity or the structures or the systems, and they sure as hell don't have the mindset to then handle that influx of cash and opportunity and all those other things. And then they end up just doing like feast famine. We don't want that. We want to minimize the roller coaster as much as possible. So yeah, just really looking at those high performers, those high achieving and excelling people, um, who are having trouble developing and trusting their teams and letting go of some of those tasks.
I,
Because I
I,
know everybody's like, "This is my baby. My business is my baby."
I was just about to say that that may be one of the top problems for people, is letting go of what you created, because like you said, it's our baby. We've
Yep.
been working so hard to develop this thing, and we can't imagine somebody breaking it, or not executing on certain steps the way that we would. And
Yeah.
you know, honestly, again, I learned, you know, nobody can be you.
Nope.
So to think that somebody's going to come in and be 100% you is just out of this world, crazy and insane. But if you put together the steps for these individuals to make things happen, now all of a sudden the game starts to change, and I always
Yeah.
say it falls back on you. You know,
Yeah.
You have to have the mental capacity to sit yourself down and build this stuff out. Believe
Yes.
in yourself that you can put the directions together for another person to execute. So I'm actually glad you said that because I had that problem. You know, it took me probably about 4 years, and I was making plenty money. And
Yeah.
money doesn't impact this problem. The brokest person has this problem, and the richest person has this problem. It's the mind. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that you were able to share this with us. And my next question for you, though, because I always do talk about the mindset and that it leads to success. So, if you don't
Mhm.
mind telling us, like, what are some ways that you believe that the mindset actually impacts your success in business?
So many ways. But let's start with this. So say you are looking at taking on a new contract, taking on a new client, or you're ramping up your leads, right? You are trying to generate more leads or nurture those leads so that you can actually turn them into paying clients and customers. If your energy is off and you are having a scarcity mindset, you're worried, you are fearful, you're paying attention way too much to what your bank account says and what the numbers say, and you don't like it. Case in point, I just had a conversation with a client and she's like, I look at my bank account every single day now. And I'm like, are you happy when you do that shit? And she's like, no, it stresses me out. I'm like, why are you realize you're creating this energy within you. And I was like, and so how does that feel when you go to write a contract or a proposal? How does that feel when you go to have a client meeting? If you take that energy, if you take that mindset into those environments, you are going to muddy the water and you will attract some of what you want and you will also attract some of what you don't want.
Hmm.
So when you can clear out your mind, when you can align, when you can acknowledge and validate how you're feeling, because those are valid feelings. This is not about emotional bypassing. This is not about telling yourself that you feel something that you don't. It is about acknowledging and validating how you genuinely feel, but then knowing that you have the power to not be so conditional. And what I like, does that make sense? Like to not allow what the numbers say to dictate how you feel about yourself, about your business, about what you're creating. And so you learn to have control over and shift your energy, shift your mindset more into who you know you really are.
Yep, yep. And one beauty about this thing, entrepreneurship, business ownership, usually, well, for me, I speak for myself when I talk. Debt in finances messes up your judgment and the actions that you take. So you kind of get away from you know the gift that the man upstairs has given us all, which is your mind, and you make irrational decisions, emotional decisions, and you know it wasn't right. So one of the leading ways to get yourself out of debt is to get control of this mind first, right? Like, and then
Right.
you'll understand that I don't have to make $10 million. You know, $100,000 sets me free. So now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I don't need 10,000 clients. Like 8 clients sets me free. And now I can tell people
Yep.
no. Now I can be there for my loved ones when they need me. I can be there for my children's events. I can be there for myself when I want to take vacations and do things that, life has out there for me. But again, if you don't get control of this mind thing, like none of this success happens. And you start chasing money, you start doing deals that you don't like you said, you bring in this bad energy. Those are the type of clients you're gonna
Yep.
get. And another beauty about it, I've pivoted. You know, I brought bad energy and bad clients before. And I had to realize it was me. It wasn't the clients. It's the type of personnel that I was bringing in. So I'm glad that, you hit on some of those points right there. But we also had a talk earlier before we got on here, and you were talking to me about Mercury and, some things that you shouldn't do during those times. But you were more so talking about energy.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, could you dive in a little bit more about, the different energies that are out here, and, the type of impacts that that has on people and their businesses as well? And a little bit more about that Mercury story that you told me there. Because I know my people don't know about
So I'm gonna speak on it very, very loosely because, like I told you, I dabble in it because it's kind of fun, but I also don't put a lot of stock in anything other than myself.
it. Hmm.
But Mercury retrograde, Mercury the planet rules communication. And so it goes in retrograde where it looks like the planet, from the way that we look at it from Earth, it looks like the planet is moving backwards. It's really not, from what I understand. And anybody out there that studies astrology, you can definitely be the expert and speak over me on this. But essentially, during these times, communication can be a little wonky. You could be miscommunicated, even though you think you're speaking very clearly through your emails or your text messages or your phone conversations. It can still be a little off. And there are things like, don't move into big contracts when you're doing stuff like that. But like we were saying as well, don't allow the planets to rule you, you rule you. Understand it's more important for you to get your mind in alignment before you get on a sales call, before you have that meeting. Get your energy right. Check in with yourself to see how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And this only takes, like, this is not a big deal. The more that you practice it, then you can do this like 2 or 3 minutes before you jump on sales calls. I always have breaks in between conversations, meetings, and stuff like that so that I have a chance to reset my energy, to close the chapter on this one particular situation and move into the next one. Um, for any of my old school people, I'm from the South. My mom used to always say, prime the pump, which had to
Prime the
do
pump.
with like the water. Yeah, it had to do with when you have well water,
Yep.
right?
I,
So
I
you
lived
gotta
in
like,
Culpeper, Virginia. We had them pumps out back.
okay. Or anybody who's been to a keg party, let's go there. You gotta prime the keg, you gotta pump it a few times. Here we go. We'll get some.
Ain't nothing like a
So many
good
people are
keg
like,
party.
what? Yeah, you got to be able to do that to prime it. Well, it's the same thing with your energy. So
Hmm.
when you can pay attention to, like we were just talking about, if you got a scarcity mindset, you're going to move into things from a reactionary standpoint. And although your mind is here to help you, you are not your mind. We are definitely spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. And what I mean by that is when you can understand that your mind is there to protect you, and it's like a survival thing. Like it's literally there to protect you from dying. That's what our mind, like that's what your amygdala was created for, fight or flight. We end up living our daily business decisions like it's life or death.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes it may actually be, if we're looking at like everything falling apart, but genuinely still, like even if there's no money in the bank, are you dying right then in
Mm.
that actual moment? No. So it's those moments of like when our brain is telling us there's a problem, our energy shifts and then we start making decisions, reacting to things. That is a catabolic owner. That is a catabolic energy. That's fight or flight. That is not leading your business. That is not leading from a place. That's being a firefighter. And I don't know, none of you guys are firefighters. Stop putting out fires every single day. You're going to have to manage 20% of your time anyway, because problems are going to pop up. But when you can learn how to lead your energy, your mindset, and be conscious about these things, be aware about what's triggering you, and then consciously make a different decision, you end up leading, you prevent more problems, you're way more proactive, you're less reactive, and you end up leading your business about 80 to 90% of the time instead of managing it 80 to 90% of the time.
Ooh. You stepping on some toes in this right here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I like stepping on toes. It's okay.
Look, I call that STDs. People are giving themselves a bunch of STDs, and STDs slows everybody down. But they're giving themselves shit to do, managing
Yeah.
their business. Uh, and again, you could sit there and do that all day long. You know what I'm saying? Or I really don't think people understand, the gift of the mind, the
Yeah.
power that it has. I challenge people to this all the time. I say, how many of you all can tell me today that you've experienced the worst time of your life. Like you've used those words before. You say, "Oh my God, this has been the worst time of my life." And 100% of the time, when I ask people this, if they just don't try to argue and just do it, everybody has gone through a point in their life that they say it was this is the worst time of my life, and they never thought about it. When I asked them that question, they're here to tell me today this was the worst time of their life 5 years ago, two
Yeah.
years ago, 3 months ago. And what I let them know is, did you realize that your mind got you through it? Like, so you have the power to get through the worst times of your life. Stop beating yourself up, scaring yourself out of opportunities and things that you're saying, I can't do.
Yep.
You just proved
Yep.
to me that you can do it when you told me today that you have made it through the worst time of your life.
Yeah. Totally. You survived that. And now you're thriving through it in a different way.
And that's the motto of Nike. Just do it. When you get that gut feeling that you should be doing more, right? And
Mhm.
you know that you can, but it's scaring you to take that next step. You just got to do it. You just got to jump
Yeah.
out there because you're going to get through it, especially when you got the resources around you, you educated on what you know. After that, trouble is going to come. And
Yep.
this is just life, period. Trouble will come. There's going to be challenges and hurdles that you've never seen before, but you'll get through it. It's a guaranteed fact. I know that everybody gets through it, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to believe.
Yeah.
But anyways, I could go on about that all day long. This is why I
I
love
love it.
this conversation with Brooke here. Before we continue this conversation, again, guys, I want to make sure that you guys are liking, subscribing to the channel. We have one of my personal favorite coaches here today, Brooke, the crossover coach. Make sure you guys go to Instagram and follow her there as well. But she got introduced to me from the Gathering Spot. That's part of the community that I'm in. It's a club for business owners here in the DC area, Atlanta, LA, Charlotte, Houston, and they're growing. But Brooke leads the entrepreneurial circle, and she helps us out every Monday. Yes, every Monday we get on these calls, and the information that she's helped me out with, I think it's been about 2 years maybe that I've been on the Gathering Spot, and I've been on these entrepreneurial circles. I really enjoy the way that she shares the information with that community, and I wanted her to come to our community and share the information with us too. So you guys are getting the pleasure of meeting Brooke and finding out about how she unfucks vibes. I love that tagline, by the way. But we're going to continue this conversation. Now, Brooke, I know you had some slides that you sent over to me. Would you like to go through those?
Yeah, let's touch base on that because we can get a little bit more into the energy, the specific energy levels.
That's what I seen. That's why I wanted to get into it. But the first slide, I'm not sure. Can you see the screen? No.
I can.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead. Take it away. You got it.
Yeah. So when we're thinking about energy, there's two different kinds. We got catabolic, we got anabolic. Catabolic is our fight or flight energy. It is that survival mode. It is 100% useful, but not to be in a chronic state, which is where most of us live. And then there's the anabolic energy, and anabolic energy is fueling and engaging and uplifting and inspiring, and it's where your creativity and your intuition tap in, and it's where you start to see more possibilities. So when we're looking at the different energy levels, which we'll talk about briefly in just a second, catabolic owners and business leaders, they're managing, like I said, they're managing 80, 90, damn near 100% of their time. They manage everything. They are micromanaging, like I say on there too. They have difficulty letting things go. They understand their own zone of genius, but then they're functioning in every other zone, the zone of incompetence, the zone of competence, and the zone of excellence, meaning they are doing tasks that they shouldn't be doing. Just because you know how to change your oil does not mean that it's an efficient use of your time, energy, or mental capacity to do it. You hire somebody to do that. So, catabolic owners are micromanaging. They're always working in crisis mode, like I said just a second ago. You're not a firefighter, you're a business owner. Stop putting out fires all the time. You don't need to be doing that all the time. They are disconnected emotionally because they don't understand the importance of emotional intelligence, and they feel like if they're emotional, it's dramatic. That's an unaligned type of emotion. There's deeper on that, but they're dealing with those problems reactively. They are hella burned out. They are frustrated. They're overwhelmed. They're tapped out. And they are not fully trusting their teams. And honestly, they're not really trusting themselves as well. So, because trust is just all about the fact that you're going to be okay when somebody, like Travis talked about earlier, when somebody, nobody's going to do it exactly like you. You're not trying to create clones. You're trying to inspire and encourage your team and the people around you to become self solvers. That when they identify a problem, they also identify solutions, which brings me into an anabolic leader or an owner. They are leading way more than they are managing. They manage from time to time when those problems pop up, but they're sharing detailed information. Everything's very collaborative. They are very proactive in creating systems and procedures and things like that so that they can handle the problems up front before they even pop up. They're utilizing that emotional intelligence and awareness, and they are seeing opportunities wherever they look. So they're very much in control of their schedule and their time. And they're also developing and honing their trust in themselves and in their teams. They don't, it's okay if somebody doesn't do it exactly like them,
Mm.
because they're inspiring that team member to rise to their highest self, which means you're going to get better quality results and higher levels of success and retention.
Now, I love this right here. I didn't know these terms myself. So as you were going through this stuff, I realized I believe I was a catabolic owner, and I created this new anabolic owner, and didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Because as you were giving these examples over here, I'm like, man, that used to be me. Like that was exactly what I was doing. And when I stopped using my hands, and I started bringing other people on board to do things, I realized, I'm really just working on me being a better leader each and every day to talk to people for them to execute and follow directions. And most importantly, like you said, when a problem comes up, how do you handle it? Like,
Yes.
I need to make sure that you are confident and believe in yourself to handle this thing in a professional way, because you make my life so much easier. And that is part of being a business owner. So, I mean, that breakdown to me was just perfect. I had to stop you right there and bring
Yeah.
that story in because it hit home for me. I don't know about everybody else, but I see my transition that happened to myself with these, definitions. Honestly, that's what it is right here.
Yeah. Love that. Um, so yeah, there's 7 levels. Thank you for sharing that too, Travis, because it's a very real thing when you see that in real time, and you understand how you shift as you evolve. And that's what we're supposed to do too. We're here to evolve. We're here to create. You're not here to just be stationary the rest of your life. Um, so
Hold up.
these 7 levels. Go
Bro, can
ahead.
I stop you before we get to the 7 levels?
Yeah.
Because I just seen Rhea. She commented. She's anabolic with a little bit of catabolic, and
Hmm.
I wanted to ask you this. Maybe you get into it a little later here, but what is the process when you can see that you got a piece of some of this stuff, and you really want to be all the way over here, but there's some things that you're still doing on this other side? Is there a process or step that you go through to transition to getting yourself fully anabolic?
Yeah. Well, let me say this too. You're never going to be fully anabolic, because your awareness and your energy is not something that you get like a college degree and you have it in that moment and it's yours for life. It's like working out. You either go to the gym and work out and continue to improve your health, or you don't. Or you take a shower and you're clean, or you're not. So it's an in the moment type of thing. And conscious leadership is not about trying to get rid of catabolic energy, because you're not going to be able to do that. Conscious leadership is about recognizing when you've stepped back into or you're triggered and you're acting more catabolic, and you recognize that this does not feel good. This is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. And what's more important is that you recognize it and how quickly you shift out of it. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. It definitely does. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I had to
No,
take the
it's a good
shades.
point.
I had to take the shades off and everything, man. You dropping some nuggets over here. So no, thank you for sharing that. But we can get back
Yeah.
to the slides.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not about a practice of, oh, I'm going to be perfect, because that's just another aspect of catabolic energy, because it's either all or nothing.
And it's
Life is,
crazy though because I know this stuff. It's like football, like sports. You gotta practice this every day. Like
yep.
you gotta stretch before you work out. Like you hit something earlier when you said practicing, getting your energy right before you get on these calls. Like I'm pretty sure, even myself, I don't have practice steps before I get on these calls. Like I just jump
Yeah.
into it, and
Yeah.
that's the worst way to do things.
Yeah. It tires you out and it stresses you out sometimes more than is necessary. So, 7 levels of energy, if we look down at the bottom, that's where we started with the catabolic energy. That's level 1. And as we move up, you get to level 7, which is more of like the anabolic highest level, fully realized type of a thing. You step in and out of 7. You create life's moments when you're in 7. But level 1, we're feeling lost, we're stuck, we feel like we never win. It's that victim energy. Level 2, we're angry, we're mistrustful of ourselves, of others. This is where most of corporate America leads. I'm the boss, do this because I say, there's no collaboration. And even if you delegate from a dictatorship, not from a like I know the only way to do this type of a thing. Level 3, we start moving into anabolic energy. It's low level, but it's understanding our emotions. We take responsibility for things. We kind of have the mindset, it is what it is. Level 4 is the caregiver, and we're highly compassionate, but we're too focused on other people and we forget ourselves in this aspect. Level 5 is like the sweet spot. It's the win-win. How can everybody win? How can I win as a leader? How can I help you win as a staff member or part of my team so that you feel like you're in your zone of genius? All that shit, that good stuff. Level 6 is our intuition and our visionary, where we're able to create our reality without seeing it. So here's a key point that we always talk about on the entrepreneurship call. Everybody is out here trying to figure out what they need to do in order to have so that they can be. And that's the wrong order. You got to understand how to be what you want to be: successful, prosperous, abundant, free, secure, whatever. You got to enable and connect with that emotionally first. Learn how to be so that it informs how you engage and what you do, so that you can then have the business, the life, the success, the family, whatever that you want to have. That's why it starts from the inside. So when you can address those internal things, then you can have a vision. You don't need anybody else to see what you're trying to create. And I tell this to people all the time because I have a lot of level 6 in my chart. I've taken the assessment that we'll mention here in a minute, but the assessment, I've taken it 3 times myself right now. And it was super interesting when I took it as a business owner, my first like 2 years into being a business owner, because my shit changed big time because I was getting triggered left and right with stuff. There's nothing like entrepreneurship to put all of your shit on blast. To put all your insecurities, all your fears, all your worries, all your doubts, everything rises to the surface, unlike when you're working for somebody else as a 9 to 5. And I think we choose this path, so we're ready for it. When you are choosing to be a business owner and entrepreneur, you're ready to do this type of internal work because you understand the power and the importance of it. And you also know your natural state. So people are always like, Brooke, you're not facing reality. You're not facing reality that it's hard for minorities out here to get contracts and stuff like that. I'm like, those are truths, but they're self fulfilling prophecies as well. And the more you keep collecting evidence of the stuff that you don't want, the less you are able to create a vision of what you do want.
Mm. See,
So,
that's why I like them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you
Dropping
got
nuggets.
You got to create your reality. Don't just face it, create it. So that's where level 6 comes in. And then level 7 is where we have that absolute passion and we are highly connected and tuned in, tapped in, turned on for any of my Abraham Hicks people. We are 100% listed in that. And we actually then create the vision. So it's creating life's moments. So
No,
you're going to have a mix of all these energies at any given time.
I was just about to ask you. I was just about to say. So, like, do you have to experience all of these energies?
What do you mean? Do you say, do you have to? You're going to no matter what.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, because as you were going through them, I'm thinking like, man, that was a step in my life of doing this X, Y, and Z. And definitely when you hit number 4, the care, compassion, and service to others, um, you know, I think everybody has that in them that they
Yeah.
want to be of service to others, but I tried to argue with them to get past that hump when you're building this empire, because you gotta. It's like the airplane to me. You gotta put on your own mask first. Like you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
be serving all these other people with empty pockets.
Nope.
It just you can't be a blessing to others until your pockets runneth over. Like, and then all of a sudden you can go back and that care, compassion, and service to others. I mean, it explodes. That's been my motto. That's how it's helped me out. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, totally. I'd say of the last 7 years of all the business owners that I've worked with personally, as well as the people that have just taken the assessment that I've met along the way in my community, I'd say it's probably a solid 90-95% who lead with level 4 energy. They got into business to solve a problem that they saw and want to help a particular group of people or whatever, a part of the market that's not there if we're talking like a product. Um, but they come at it from a place of compassion and it's a beautiful thing. But what happens when we're in a lot of level 4 energy is we attract a lot of level 1 people, clients and staff. It's a match made in hell. Because if you like to solve problems and you like to help people and you're highly compassionate and you like that's what makes you happy, level 1 people are like, I got a shit ton of problems and I don't have any idea or power or ability to fix them. Please fix my stuff. And then you're tapped out. Then you're drained. You can't tap into creativity. Here's the other thing too. You cannot build a thriving business on a survival mindset.
Mm.
So if you're constantly, even if you want to help people and even if you're trying to pull yourself up and be in that good space mentally, if you are constantly around other people and you're always solving their problems without taking into account how it's impacting you and whether or not you're moving your ball forward, moving forward on your goals, you're going to zap all your energy.
Mm.
It's gone. You have no creativity. You can't tap into your intuition like that.
Ooh, I hope people pick that nugget up right there. Like that small nugget right there can take you so far. I mean, that was huge. That one is huge right there. But
Yeah.
these energy levels, again, I would say that they need constant practice for you to acknowledge the level that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
so you can understand it, better handle it, and then recognize, okay, I'm here. I need to be here. Is that correct?
Yeah. I want to be here. Shift the energy of need. I want to be here.
Mm-mm. I want to be here. Come on now.
Yeah.
Let me stand corrected.
Need is a different energy, man. It's a different energy. And sometimes we do need things, but it's a lower level catabolic stuff. Like, I need to do this. I have to do this. I should. Man, if you can take out one word from your vocabulary, take out the word should.
Mm.
Stop shoulding all over yourself. I should be doing it this way. I should be more successful. I should be, whatever. That
Yep.
keeps you so limited.
I'm writing that on a sticky note right now. I'm gonna attach this to my computer. A big note that says
Yeah.
eliminate should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very much
Small
so.
stuff.
Yeah. So just looking at The energy levels, like leaders at level 1, they're in crisis mode all the time. Problems, 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 fires, 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 crisis mode. Everything is on fire all the time, and they don't feel like they have any power to change it. So they're at the cause of their business, not the at the effect of what's going on in their business.
Mm.
So level 2, that fighter energy, both of these are catabolic. They believe that they can do anything better than the employee and they judge others. They're not trustful. I know how to do this. I know the right way. La da da. So it's very limiting. Moving into anabolic, level 3 is the rationalizer. So they tolerate a bunch of things. They understand how emotions work. And so they manage them to resolve conflict with more logic. Like, it is what it is. I did my best. Okay, we can move forward. Level 4, that caregiver, like what we were just talking about, we form really deep connections with others and we're highly loyal. And it's really beautiful to be in our level 4, but we have to learn how to put up healthy boundaries so we don't have so many level 1 people draining us and zapping us. I will say this all the time too. You cannot get sad enough to make sad people happy. You cannot get poor enough to make poor people rich. You can't get sick enough to make sick people healthy. If they're in a hole, don't get in the hole with them. Somebody has to stay outside the hole and go find a stick or a ladder or something to help people out. So you have to maintain your own energy. You have to care about how you feel. You have to care about what's good for you so that you don't get zapped out by all the other people when you're in your caregiver.
Oh man, you just blew my mind. How you gonna be broke and get the broke? How you gonna be sick and help the sick?
You can't. You can't.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. It is.
And people do it
So
every day.
they do. And they think that that's what needs to happen. And it's a mixture of what is true compassion. Because here's the deeper level of this. When you do everything and solve the problems for all your staff or everybody on your team, or you hand out tasks, but then you take them back or you rework them anyway. Case in point, like when I used to make my bed and my mom used to come behind me and remake it the way that she wanted it. I was like, why didn't you just make it yourself in the first place? Why are you having me do chores if you want me to do it a particular way? Anyway, but when we do that, not only are we doubling the work, but we're actually killing the potential of our team, of the people that are on our team, of our staff, and we stifle their creativity, we stifle their intuition, and then they become a bunch of problem finders and no solution finders. They don't know how to find solutions because you're cutting them off at the knees. You're actually preventing your teams from learning how to solve problems. Does that make sense?
That it does. That it. Can you see the comments? You,
I can now.
okay, I was just making sure you can still see those
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. So, and then level 5, that opportunity, level 5 owners and leaders are powerful and inspiring, and they're skilled at like capitalizing on their teams and whatever opportunities present themselves. So they're okay. They can pivot. They can pivot very easily when things don't necessarily go the way that they want them to. And then the last two, go back one more slide for me if you can. Oop, there we go. Level 6 is that visionary that I was talking about, where we start to see and create our reality instead of just facing it. So they have way more presence than action, and they have that keen sense of intuition where they're tapping into that on a regular basis to make decisions and to create solutions and generate ideas. And then the level 7, the creator, leaders who learn to resonate at level 7, even for just a few moments, they tap into it throughout their day. They have access to the greater power of like truth, and they can engage their natural genius ability to consciously create their world. It's fun stuff. So you're
Yes,
meant
it
to like
is.
tap in and out of that.
Oh, I forgot too. We have probably like a 45-second delay. So when you on
Okay.
level 7, they may just be hearing you at like level 6.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Got you. All good. So yeah. That's it on those. That's just like a brief thing. So here's the other thing too. Guys, I've been studying this stuff for since 2014. Energy plays. There's an energy interplay that's always going on, and you have your own unique makeup of all 7 levels at any given time. And then you also have your own unique makeup of how the energy shifts whenever you get stressed out. So when you have that awareness of understanding, where do I typically resonate on any given day? Where's my natural like energy coming from when I'm just doing the day-to-day business stuff? And then when you can have awareness around, oh wow, this is like what happens when a client doesn't pay their invoice on time, or the government doesn't pay their invoices on time. I know that's sometimes a very big thing. You waiting on the red tape of all of those things. Or a staff member or a team member doesn't necessarily lean up to your expectations. Or you have that particular client or customer that always drains you, that you hate getting their emails, you hate seeing their name pop up on your phone. All of those things, those zap your energy. But when you can recognize them and you start to understand, okay, where's my energy at right now? What am I actually feeling? Let me acknowledge and validate that. Of course, it makes sense that I'm frustrated by this, that my team member didn't do what they said they were going to do. Who wouldn't be frustrated? That makes sense. Okay. But now what do I want to do? How do I honor myself, recognize that whatever's going on with them, and then let's figure out a win-win? How can we move more into like level 5, 6, and 7 to come up with a solution for this? So the more that you're able to have that awareness of how you're showing up energetically and your own unique energy interplay, the more powerful you become in any given moment to lead your business towards more success.
Brooke, you just out here dropping nugget after nugget, and even one of the comments just reminded me. Even when you were talking about that level 4, I know a lot of it. That's why that level 4 is stuck in my mind when you said it, because I think I spent a couple years in level 4. I'm not gonna lie, a couple
Yeah.
years in level 4, and level 4 constantly attracting the level 1s. I mean that blows your mind. Like,
Yeah.
and when you know what you're doing, you can make change. And it took me a
Yes.
couple years, Brooke. The reason why I didn't understand that I was in level 4, and I'm still learning these definitions because my coach didn't teach me these definitions. But I had to go outside and get support about this mind. I tried to fight it. I thought it was stupid. I thought these things were dumb. I mean, every name that you could come up with, getting a coach to help you with your mindset, I called it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I actually got the coach that I got myself out of this level 4 that you're talking about here. And the beauty about it, like if you guys go back and look, I'll probably say 2009. Maybe that's when Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff really started taking off.
Yeah.
I've been showing the steps. I've built team after team after team, different groups. I had Hustle the Net. I had Elite Fortune Group, Coaches for Freedom. And I was stuck in level 4 trying to help everybody out. It wasn't
Yep.
until like recently, the last couple of years, that I realized, like, man, look, I'm just gonna do my own thing. And those who can, jump on board until I get to where I need to get to, I can't sit here and try to save the world. And
Nope.
now that has literally brought me every customer that I enjoy. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And it's like, it doesn't feel good to you or to them when we are trying to show the people the river, show them how to drink, and then force them to drink. I can show you the river and I can show you how to drink, and I can show you other ways to figure out, alternative routes to drink the water. You don't have to drink it from the cup that I use. You can use whatever you want. However, I'm not going to force anybody to do anything. That's why I also say people that I've worked with in these last 7 years, they didn't need a coach, they wanted a coach.
Say that one again. What did you just say?
They didn't need a coach, not like, oh, I need this. They're like, no, I want this because I'm successful as hell and I'm creating a lot of great things. But I'm also like, this can't be all there is. Like, this cannot be, like, I'm not supposed to be this stressed out. I'm not supposed to have back pain at like 38. I'm not supposed to be having daily chronic headaches. I'm not supposed to be having like shitty, broken relationships with family or friends because I'm so focused on business. Stop buying that bullshit that tells you that you can only have one or the other. Dream how you want your life to look and then build your business to support that. And all of that comes from internally understanding more about how you're leading yourself.
So it sounds like you telling us we could do and be whatever we want to be and do whatever
You
we want to
can.
do.
Yes. All day
Oh,
long.
so, bro, I know you've created something amazing with your assessment here. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about what it is that you've created through this assessment?
Yeah, real clear. I didn't create this, but I am certified in this, just to clarify that. But this is a customized energy leadership index assessment. It helps you understand where you're at energetically. So it figures out what your unique makeup is of those 7 levels so that you can start to see, how am I doing on any given day? What's my current leadership ability and what's my potential leadership ability? What's blocking me? What are my roadblocks? Where am I tripping up? What are the things that are triggering me? What happens when I get stressed out in business? And how is that impacting the decisions that I'm making? And then it takes it a step further, because then it looks at, how is that actually impacting your work relationships, your financial success, your health and your wellness, your energy levels. It's very different to run through a day when you're on catabolic energy versus anabolic energy. It's
Hmm.
different if you feel like you're putting out fires all day versus when you're in a state of flow. Very different. And by the way, if y'all hear my dog in the background, I'm like Travis. We both got dogs, our office assistants, and mine's an English bulldog, and so he might grumble a little
My,
bit.
mine was tearing up some plastic stuff just a minute ago. I had to yell at him.
I love it. But yeah, like, so this assessment allows you the ability to take an honest, open look. It is not like other personality tests. It's not like Myers Briggs or like DISC or anything like that. I think all of those things are beautiful, but this is just another holistic thing to add in, because it gives you that ability to look at, seriously, how am I leading? How am I leading my business? How am I leading myself? What am I doing that's self sabotaging? Because we identify your key pattern that's creating that self sabotage. And we look at what are some opportunities to shift that and change that. So it's awesome.
And again, guys, I have the link provided in the description of this video. You guys also see it on your screen right there. You guys can visit that link to get your assessment out. We actually have a special that just for our community. So if you guys are listening to this and you want to take advantage of it, we're going to have it till Sunday, I believe. Is that right?
Hmm.
So we'll have a special price for the assessment until Sunday for you guys to take advantage of, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But I really want you guys to go there, take that assessment, because one of the number one things that I've realized uh, when building yourself as well as your business is you can't keep all this stuff in your head. As much as we think that we know what we need to do tomorrow, we know what we need to fix about ourselves. I'm telling you right now, something's going to come tomorrow that's going to distract you and make you forget all about what you were supposed to be doing to better yourself.
Yeah.
So you need to take things like an assessment, so now it's written down, as well as you get to talk to somebody and really understand definitions to stuff that's going on in your life that you didn't even know there was a solution to it. That was the thing. There was a solution to some of this stuff that's going on. So it's great to get around somebody, be able to take that type of assessment, and now you got kind of a path, directions on what it is that you need to do to make your life better. I ain't say make the world's life better. I said make your life better. Because once your life get fixed, everybody else's life around you gets fixed too, whether you know it or not. But Brooke, would you mind sharing with us the special that you got for the Peer Money community?
Yeah, happily share it. I've so value the community that Travis has built, and it's an honor to be here with you guys. And so I wanted to do something very special for you. Um, Typically, this is something that is an investment for your business, for yourself, around 8.95. But if you are going to purchase that before Sunday, we'll go ahead and take off 200 so that it's 6.95, because it's such an important thing, and there's no better investment than the investment in yourself. You cannot lose when you're investing in yourself. And so I just wanted to be able to extend a gift to you guys, and just take just a little bit of that off so that you can make that decision a whole lot easier for yourself. So you got until Sunday, which is the 21st, May
Mm-hmm.
21st, to take advantage of that 200 off. and purchase that and invest in that for that 695. I promise you, the ROI is 100% worth it. Because once you have this awareness, you won't be able to not recognize it next time you're in it. You're going to catch yourself in these stress responses, even if it's 10% faster. You're just going to hit it so much faster, which means you're going to respond a whole lot easier.
You
It's
ain't
just
never
good stuff.
lied. So again, guys, I'm going to put the link in the comments for you guys to go ahead as well and jump on that. Remember, the special is going until Sunday. You can get it after Sunday, but it's just going to cost you a little bit more money. So I would advise you to go ahead and get it now. So how does that process work? Once they get registered, are they going to get sent information? Do they get a call with you, or how does that go?
Yeah. So once you purchase, it'll be collecting your email address, that it'll be your preferred email address. I will go ahead and assign the assessment to that address. You'll get your own unique login information. You can take the assessment. It only takes you about 15 minutes to complete it. Once that assessment is completed, I get notified and I'll reach back out to you with my calendar so you can set up your debrief session with me. And we'll have a 75-minute debrief session to go over all your results, your opportunities to uncover and unfuck some of that energy so that you can implement some new steps and really enhance and start to build upon your new leadership style.
So get them vibes unfucked over there is what
Yeah,
you're
yeah, all
saying.
day long.
And we definitely got to get those. But if you guys have any questions, again, you're more than welcome to put those down there in the comments. While we have Brooke here, don't mind answering those.
Yeah,
What I will tell you guys again, this gym named Brooke is hidden inside of the um, uh, um, gathering spot community. So again, it's a blessing to have you come out here and share with us today. So I do thank you, because usually you got to pay a gathering spot membership and then you find her. So that's even more money, but you guys get her. I definitely, again, thank you for taking your time out to talk with us. How could somebody reach out to you or follow you to get more information and follow everything that you got going on?
yeah. Definitely follow me at Instagram. You can email me. It's probably like the easiest way. And you can go to my website too, because you can sign up for my mailing list and get business tips. I'm always trying to drop not only just inspiration, I do that a lot with my community, but just business tips and some strategies and things to put into place that are on a more tangible, tactical side with the energy and everything mixed in. So head to my website or follow me on Instagram and we'll get connected.
Now, before we get off of here, I always like to, bring one little knowledge piece nugget in this thing to ask you about. And as we, you know, talk today, and even, the title of unlocking leadership, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when we're talking about being the best leader, uh, it's going to start with making sure you can lead yourself first.
All day long.
And I think too often that we have people trying to lead teams and lead other people, and they haven't taken a moment out to figure out how to lead the visionary, the creator behind all of this stuff, and we wonder why it ain't working. Does
Yeah.
that sound about right?
Oh, totally. We think
So,
everything's external. Let me just focus on controlling the people around me. I want you to control the only thing you have control over, you.
mm, mm, mm. So guys, listen, I need you guys. It's important. I know I talk to you guys about government contracting all the time, and building the best business. But I always tell you guys, one of the best investments that you can ever make. Like, I've never ever in the history of my life found a better investment than investing in myself first. Like,
Mm.
a $600, $700 assessment, right, can actually turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, a book that you've read can turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars. A coach, a mentor, that event, that workshop, that conference that you went to. Like, you getting that information, that knowledge from somebody who's already done it before gets you over that one hurdle that's stopping you. Like, and when you unlock that leadership in yourself, the floodgates just open. So again, I'm urging you all to understand that this is going to be an investment in you, and you are the key to everything else. So I need you guys to go take that assessment, understand who you are, and watch how these contracts start coming to you. Watch how these subcontractors start falling in your lap. How these prime contractors just start emailing you. How when you go to that government networking event, all of the relationships are just sitting at the door waiting for you. It starts with this right here. And you guys all have the power to fix it. At any time, too. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what's going on in your life. Like, you could be at the highest of highs or lowest of lows, right? It don't matter. We all need help. I've never seen anybody who doesn't need it. But, well, I was just about to say, if you take away the start time, I guess I am kind of under an hour. I will cut this so we don't have that echo in the beginning. So when you guys share this out with your other minority business owner friends and loved ones, they won't have to worry about all that stuff in the beginning. So in about a couple hours, that will be fixed. But again, Brooke, could you tell everybody how they could access you one more time?
Yes, definitely. Check me out on my website, thecrossovercoach.com. Follow me on Instagram or at LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn, Brooke Jaguar. And we'll get connected and invest in yourself, invest in this assessment. I'm super excited to connect with you guys one on one and get to know more about you guys and help you unfuck your vibe and generate more of that conscious leadership style.
My homie couldn't take it no more. He can't live with himself not getting in the spotlight.
I
See,
understand.
look, you there. But we appreciate you, Brooke. I thank everybody who hung out with us here today. This is important. We're going to bring you back too, because I don't think
Love
this
that.
is just a one-time conversation when we're talking about that mental capacity that we all have, because that is your way to become free. So
Yeah,
we're gonna need you back here again, maybe in like a month or so. You know,
I love that.
see how these assessments then went with you guys, and watch all of you all flourish. But you guys drop a heart emoji down there in the comments if you guys appreciated this information that was shared with you all today. Once again, don't forget, like, subscribe to the channel, as we're going to continue to bring crazy important people that have been in my life, that have helped me out, that I'm going to bring here so they could be a part of your life as well. So I thank you once again, Brooke. I thank you, community, for taking your time out to listen in. Those of you watching on replay, I thank you all as well. Don't forget to go to Brooke's pages, follow her over there, give her a DM, give her some love. Tell her thank you for the information. Outside of that, I love you all. Y'all stay safe out here in these streets, and I will talk with you all later.
Thank you.
Yeah, you already know what it is. Pure money, baby. I keep a couple in the bag, homie, I ain't gotta brag. Even when the hater try to doubt me, I just got another contract. Watch the dollars follow back. Let me tell you one thing about me. Said I